friends, and welcome back to the Woldenburn Knitting Podcast. My name is Emily, and I am so glad that you are here today. I'm coming to you from Kentucky in the United States, where I live with my husband and our two beautiful little boys. It has been a minute since I've been able to film a regular podcast, as I have been saying in every single one of the podcasts I have filmed here recently. But I've been really itching to share some knitting projects with you, so I have a lot to talk about, and we're just going to kind of skim over a couple of works in progress, just kind of share you a little bit of progress that I've gotten on them, but not go too in-depth in them. I have a couple finished objects to share with you, and then we're going to do kind of a life update, and yeah, it's going to be just a pretty typical normal podcast. Quickly here at the beginning, I did want to say I am tentatively going to start trying to do a weekly video. Here's the thing, there's no guarantee. Right now my sleep schedule is all out of whack with the baby, and the toddler's been going through growth spurts and his sleep is all wonky, but I have been really itching to try and be a little bit more consistent, and I was thinking that if I tried to do like a 15-20 minute update every week, that could be really fun. And I've just been feeling very inspired and reinvigorated with my knitting, and I just want to be a little bit more consistent about sharing it so that it's not this big ordeal to film a whole like hour-long podcast video. And also I was thinking about it because I was watching Joan from Mama Nevin. I was watching her latest episode last night while I was cleaning the kitchen. Haven't quite finished it yet, but she was talking about how she uploads a video every Sunday, and that one of her friends really loves that because then she listens to her on the way to work. And it just made me think that it is really nice where there's different channels that I follow and they upload. I know that there's a certain day when they're going to upload a video, and so I was thinking, you know, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see if I can make it happen. I'm aiming for Tuesdays. I'm hoping I can upload a video every Tuesday, but we're gonna see how it goes. Just stay tuned because that might be happening, hopefully. But that's all of that. Let's just dive right in. So first off, also, like I said, I haven't been getting much sleep recently, so I'm very sleep deprived. So there might be a lot of cuts in this video. I've already yawned like 3 times. I finished the sweater that I was working on for my toddler. I mentioned last time that I had finished the body. That I was looking at the body. I was just going round and round and realized that I had knitted further than I thought I had. So I finished it. It's done. I have not bothered with blocking it because my plan is that I'm just going to have him wear it and then I'll wash it and it'll be fine. So I'm not going to mess with blocking it. But here's the back. There's a little bit of a jog that you can see, but I'm sure with some wear it will kind of even out a little bit more. Honestly, it's not terrible. Like from further back you can kind of see it. I think some of that's just where I carried the yarn up, but it's honestly, it's not too bad. But yeah, I wove in all the ends and everything, so that's all sorted. But yeah, so just as a quick recap, this was based off of, I did not follow it very closely, based off of the Tweety Junior pattern by Beta Jezik of, oh my brains, Patchwork Fibers, which that's another quick note. At least for this video, and probably if I'm going to be trying to do weekly videos, I'm not going to bother putting the stuff up on the screen. It just takes so much extra time with editing. My plan is I'm going to try and just put all the links for everything in the description box down below, and that'll be that. That will make my life easier. But yes, this is the Tweety Junior pattern is what I based it off of. I really just took the cast on number and how she divided the stitches into the front, back, and sleeves, and then I did pretty much my own thing for the raglans and body length, sleeve length, all of that. But yeah, so we ended up probably around about between a 3T and a 4T size, which is perfect. I tried it on my toddler and it was good and long, so he should probably be able to wear it all winter. I tried to make the sleeves good and long and just make everything long. So yeah, and I knitted this out of the Ella Ray, what is it? I have another pattern here in the same yarn, so I'll see if I can find it. But it's like Cozy Soft DK or something like that, and it's like it's a wool and acrylic blend. Yeah, I'm very pleased to have that done. The other finished object is just a funny little. It's a funny little, cute little thing. I'm actually planning to give it as a gift, but I haven't done that yet, so here it is. That's the little kitty cat coaster, which I think is adorable. This face took me like 4 or 5 tries, and I am still not like 100% happy with it, but this is a pattern by Amy from Two Sisters in Some Yarn or Pro Life Knitter on Instagram. It's something that's going to be coming up in a future issue of the Blocked magazine, and I just tested it for her. I had the yarn and everything, and she was needing some testers, and I was like, I'll do it, why not? So, cute little cat coaster. I'm planning to give it as a gift here pretty soon, so this was good timing for sharing it. And I just crocheted this out of some I Love This cotton yarn from Hobby Lobby. And I don't remember now that I think about it what hook size I used. I think it was a 4.5 millimeter. I have a set of crochet hooks that I got off of Amazon. I had them on my wish list for Christmas, and somebody got them for Christmas. And it's just this cute little pouch, and it comes with all the different sizes in here. And I was using them, so basically I used the biggest one that I could find. Maybe it was a 4 millimeter. That's 3.5, or was it the 5 millimeter? I honestly do not know. I just used the one that was closest to what was the one that Amy used. So, I do highly recommend this set, by the way. It's very nice, and I have really enjoyed having proper crochet hooks rather than just the metal Susan Bates ones. They are a lot more comfortable when they have that rubber handle on them. But anyway, quick, fun little project. Okay, I have a whole mountain of works in progress to share with you. So we're just going to go quickly through a couple of them. The first one, I think I shared this one last time. This is one that I'm going back and forth on, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to frog. But I was working on making a Tulsa Tea, this is the front, out of this pink cotton yarn. And I was just sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to wear it. I'm kind of conflicted. I'm torn on whether or not to bother finishing this. Because my thought is that I would knit it maybe like a little bit cropped, because I have a limited amount of the yarn. And then I have this other cone of yarn that's slightly thinner and a slightly lighter color. It's probably hard to see on the screen, but it's ever so slightly lighter, and it's a little bit thinner. It's very, very close, but it's like a little bit different. I don't know if that makes it any better. So my thought is that I would make it a little bit of a cropped sweater, and then do like a frill or a ruffle around the bottom. But then the problem was I was sitting there thinking about it, and I don't wear jeans or shorts or trousers of any kind. I just don't find them flattering on my body, and I always wear skirts, and so I'm not sure how a top with a little like peplum ruffle at the bottom, how that would look with skirts, because I don't wear like pencil skirts or anything. It's all like full or flared gathered skirts. And so I was pretty set that I was going to tear it out, but then I started looking at it and I was like, oh, but it's kind of cute, and it's like this pretty bubblegummy pink, and it might be fun. And so I'm just conflicted. I'm torn. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I want to rip it out or keep it. So it's just been sitting in the project bag while I think about it, and I had to steal the cord out of one of the sleeves for another project, and so I just stuck a spare set of needles in there because I was like, well, I don't know if I'm frogging it or not, and I don't want to like have it get ruined if I'm not frogging it. So this one's in the timeout drawer for now. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and decide for that at some point here. I'm not sure, but until that point it is just sitting in a project bag. So that's a pretty quick one. This is a really exciting one, but again, I haven't done much of anything on it. I finally decided what I wanted to make with my Mr. Mouse Yarn Co. Murder, She Wrote advent calendar from 2024. And I'm going to be making the, I think it's the Sundial Tea by Woldenburn Designs, I think is what it's called. I don't really have a very good picture of it here. I have the pattern printed out, but I haven't done hardly any on it. I cast it on, I think it was like Sunday, because I was thinking that this would be my entry for the Knitting McPurley summer knit along. I'm even mid-row, so I haven't done like hardly anything, but look at this blue. Isn't this blue like amazing? I love it so much. But yeah, so like I said, I've done like nothing on it, and I haven't touched it since then. So let's see, I can kind of show you that picture. It's just this really, really pretty like mosaic garter stitch top, and you knit it in panels, the front and the back, and I was like, this is really, really cute. So I'm not sure when I will actually properly get around to working on it, but I thought it would be perfect for using this yarn, and it's Holly's yarn is just so beautiful. She is definitely my all-time favorite hand-dyed yarn right now. Hand-dyed yarn dyer. She is definitely the hand-dyed yarn artist that I have purchased the most from. But I'm finding some other people now. I have started following, we'll talk more about this in a little bit, but I've started following some other people, and I've learned about a Wynneth, I believe is how you pronounce it, yarn, and oh my goodness. Tina, who runs that, has some of the most beautiful colorways, and it is so dangerous. I want it. And I'm being very good because I have made myself promise that I'm not buying yarn this year. Although I have made a few exceptions, which we'll talk about in a minute, but I'm not buying like expensive, nice yarn. Anyway, hers, and then Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. I've been wanting to buy some yarn for her for a couple of years now, but I think this year is going to be the year. I told my husband, I was like, be prepared. She has a sale coming up in August, and this is going to be an early birthday present for me. So, a couple more quick ones. Speaking of Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, that'll work perfectly. I had this yarn in my stash, which was gifted to me, I believe it was from Susan of Delightful Works. I think she's the one that gifted it to me a couple of years ago now. And this is the Hawaiian Shirt colorway from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. The tag is in the center there, so we're just going to leave that there. I am using this for it's a combination. If it knits up orange enough for Neil's requirements, I am going to count it for the Make Orange Great Again knit along that's being hosted by Block Magazine. This is a little foot. This looks orange, right? Right? So if it counts for orange enough, I'm going to enter it for that. But then I'm also counting it for the Summer Under the My knit along, make along that's being hosted by Amy from Two Sisters and Some Yarn. I think her sister's co-hosting it, but I don't know for sure. I know for sure that Amy's hosting it because Golden Girls is her. She loves it. So I need to watch one of those. I'm having a hard time finding the episodes, so I need to see if my husband can help me find one. But anyway, I read the book. I read the Murder by Cheesecake book that's based off of Golden Girls. So what I am knitting with this yarn, my goodness, I'm a bit scatterbrained today, is, you can't tell anything. I'm knitting it's called like the Elefante, or it's this tiny little elephant, which is a pattern that's designed by Susan B. Anderson, and it is a pattern that I have saved in my Ravelry favorites library, whatever, for several years now. It's been a long time. It's been one that I found years and years and years ago and have loved, and I was like, you know what? This is the time. This is the year. We're gonna make this happen. So I've been thinking about it a lot because I have a not monumental, but a significant birthday coming up at the end of the year. I'm turning 30, so I'm getting ready to enter my 30s. And so it's just made me reflect a lot on a lot of things, and so I was thinking about the fact that I am terrible about actually knitting and making the projects that I really, really want to make. And so I have a number of different ones that have been sitting there that I have, every time I see them, I'm like, oh, I want to make that so badly. So I'm trying to like make myself make those, if that makes sense. So this is one of them. It's a free pattern. You can get it off of Susan's blog post, off of Susan's blog. I actually went through and like copied the text and put it into a separate document so I wouldn't have to keep referring to my phone or the computer. I'm very much a printed out pattern person. I hate having to look at my phone and iPad and computer or whatever at patterns. It just drives me insane. I'm trying to not use technology as much as I can, and having to constantly refer to it while I am trying to knit means that I'm really distracted and I don't get as much knitting done. So that's just in a random little tote bag. And I haven't touched this one in a bit. I have 4 legs and I've just started working on the body. Which, let me see. Well, I should put that back in there. Where'd the rest of the legs go? Oh, right in there. They're in there somewhere. Which also I am using for this project the Luca DPNs that I was gifted a couple years ago by a viewer of the podcast. So if you are watching, you know who you are. Thank you so much. I have found that these are not my favorite for socks, but I love them for smaller projects like this. I definitely prefer wood needles, and so I love having like a really nice set of DPNs for little projects like this. So, my goodness. I've got to grab my water. Now I'm getting thirsty. We're just going to do a quick little sneak peek of my Christmas Fauxet. I have kind of set this aside because I've been working on other projects and it's not going to be Christmas time for a few months, so... But I love it so much. Oh, I am making all kinds of changes to this pattern as far as the color placements go. I'm following the numbers for the most part. I think I'm mostly following them, but I have tweaked a couple things. So for this one, the pattern does not call for contrast baubles, but I thought they would be really cute. And I did a different kind of bauble, so it was a much smaller bauble. I'm not normally a bauble person. How many times can I say bauble? So in my previous versions of the Fauxet pattern, which is a pattern designed by Devin of the Knitting McPurley podcast and Knitting McPurley yarn, in my previous versions I've just completely omitted the baubles, but this time I was like, that would be really cute. And it's really cute. And then, as you can see, I've got some striping stuff going on. For the colorwork section here, I changed it up and made it like a diagonal thing, like peppermint candies. And I am thinking, I just did this on a whim up here, this stripe sequence here, where we've got red and then the white and the green and then red again. I'm thinking I'm going to do the whole body like that. I think that would be so cute to do that, to have like the stripy bits. But I haven't gotten there yet. I'm in my favorite part of the design, which is this like slip stitch pearl whatever texture here. I love this part so much. It's a little annoying to knit, but I love how it looks when it's done. It is so cute. I'm knitting the 3rd size mostly. I don't 100% remember exactly what I've done, but since this is my 3rd time making the pattern, I'm just kind of trying it on as I go, and I can't remember if I left out the final increase round or not. So, that's all we're going to say about this. Again, I'm knitting this out of the, is it Ella Ray Cozy Soft? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Do I not have any? I don't have any of the tags in here anymore. I have the balls, but no tags. So, anyway, it's the same green yarn that I used in this, the same color, which is like parrot green or something. Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm putting it on hold because I'm working on a couple of other projects that have deadlines, so I'll pick it back up at some point. The last, like, quickly touch on project, I pulled out my Patchwork Blanket. I can't remember if I mentioned this before. And I finished off the final square, so now I have a square blanket. I haven't touched it since because I'm a little bit torn, but I think I've decided what I'm going to do with this. So my original plan was to make this like a lap size blanket that you could just have as a lap throw. But I've realized that I don't love the process of the mitered square blankets because there's so much stopping and starting. I love blankets where you just knit, 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 and it's garter for miles. Like, I love that. That's fun. You can just pick it up, put it down, no big deal. I love how it looks, but I don't like the whole mitered square thing because there's just too much stopping and starting. But I want to get this project finished. So I was thinking, well, since I've got it an even 5x5 square, maybe what I'll do is I'll pick up along the edges and do almost like a log cabin thing around the outside with the different colors of yarn. And I was thinking about it and I was like, but I don't really like that. So I think what I've settled on is I'm going to do a few more, because I weighed how much yarn, and I've used about half of the yarn that I have. So I could only make it about twice this size, which would really not be that big enough for a lap size throw anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is add maybe 2 more rows on one side and maybe 1 more row on the side and make it a baby blanket size. And then I will tuck it away and save it in hopes that someday I have a daughter to use it for. And I think that's what I'm going to do because I love it. I think it's just so pretty. I'm so proud of all these yarns. These are all my hand-dyed yarns. I love them so much, especially this speckledy one. This was one that I think I just did such a good job on. I dyed it such a long time ago, and it has all kinds of different colors in it. It's a little bit easier to see in the skein. But I think it just turned out so, so pretty. Absolutely love it. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to add a few more squares to it, weave in all the ends, and just make it a baby blanket. So, there's that. We have 3 projects left to talk about. I'm telling you, I've been on a little bit of like a make all the things kick, which I'm not mad about. Again, I'm feeling kind of inspired with my knitting, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first off, isn't this a really cute bag? I got it from Hobby Lobby in their spring sales. I'm terrible about taking tags off of things. I feel like it always gives me, it's like my get out of jail free card where if I decide I don't like it, I can return it. And so I will leave tags on it for years. It's really annoying and I shouldn't do that, but I do. It's this giant tote bag and it was 50% off, so I got it for like, let's see, it was $12 originally for like $6. And it's this really nice sturdy canvas. And the reason I grabbed it was because I was like, okay, I'm planning to be making some blankets, which I'll talk about in a second. And it would be nice to have a dedicated giant blanket bag. Like that's what this is going to be. For any of the blanket projects that I work on, I can put them in here. I have a big old bag that should more than amply take all the yarn, all the blanket, whatever. That's what I'm going to be doing with it. So in here, I have a blanket. This is some yarn that I purchased when I was in South Carolina for my brother's wedding. I have been wanting to make some baby blankets for the Let Them Live organization for quite a while now. I've seen a lot of people sharing about it, mostly Amy from Pro Life Knitter and Two Sisters in New Yarn. She's talked about it, and then I've seen it on Politically Incorrect Knitters and Chicken Lady Fiber Arts and a few other people. And it's an organization that supports moms and helps women who are considering abortion to consider other options, basically. There's much more into it. I will have the link to the actual Let Them Live website and you can go and investigate it. I have been wanting to do some sort of support in some way for a pro-life organization for quite some time. I am very much pro-life, and especially in recent months I've seen a few things that have to do with abortion and some of the methods that they do abortion with, and it is just beyond evil. And especially now that I'm a mother, it sickens me and I hate it so much. But without going too dark and deep into that, I have decided that I am going to be making blankets, and I'm going to be trying to make probably 6 blankets a year. I think I would like to try and get into the habit of making at least one baby blanket every couple of months, spending some of my time, energy, money, whatever. I can't go and volunteer at a lot of these places because I have babies at home to take care of, but I can put some love and some prayers into blankets that will hopefully go and touch these young moms' lives and wrap their babies up in love and prayers and all of that. So I finally decided while I was in South Carolina to bite the bullet, and Hobby Lobby was clearancing out some yarn. This is their Chromatic Spectrum. It's a 100% acrylic yarn. From what I read, it can be machine washed, which I think is the main criteria. I don't think it can be machine dried, unfortunately, but I was able to get 4 balls of this for, they were selling it for $1.49, so very inexpensively. So I went ahead and grabbed it and started working on this blanket while I was in South Carolina. And I've just been working on it here and there as I can when I have time and whatnot. And it's been pretty fun. I think I should have done a 1 hook size bigger and made it a little bit drapier, but by the time I thought about that, I had used up a skein of yarn already, and I was like, well, I'm not going to redo it, so it's just going to be a smaller, more of like a, I think it's called like a stroller blanket or a car seat blanket, but yeah, so I've done about 2 and like a bit of skeins. I just started my 3rd skein, and I'm using a this one, it just has a 4.5 millimeter hook. It doesn't have a alphabetic letter assigned to it. And this is just a double crochet stitch. That's it. Super simple, super easy. Back and forth, nothing that I have to think about too much. And the other thing that I've decided to do is I'm going to be dedicating some time every single Sunday as like set aside. We aren't currently going to church right now. We don't really have a local church family that we have found just yet, but I thought this would be kind of a good way to help me set aside Sunday as something a little bit different. And so I don't just work on this on Sundays. I can work on my other projects too, but I want to be intentional about on Sundays at least working on the baby blankets for the babies. So that's my baby blanket bag. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen I lucked out and found this giant box of acrylic yarn at Goodwill for $10, and I called my husband and I told him, I was like, I was thinking about getting some yarn to make some baby blankets anyway because I don't really have anything that would work for it, so what do you think? And he was like, yeah, just go ahead and get it. So it was a ton of yarn, and it's perfect. Like, it was all perfect timing. Like, I've been really wanting to get some yarn to make some baby blankets, and then this box of yarn shows up, and you know, it was Providence. There we go. So that is that. Now I have 2 more projects to talk about, and these are the projects that have been getting the most love and time devoted to them, and I love them so much. There's some test knits. So we'll talk about this one first. This is the Flet Tee by Liz Clothier. I think that's what it is. And it is a summer tea pattern. And it's in the DK weight. And I just split for sleeves. I tried it on. It's looking so cute. I'm so happy with it. It has this beautiful like lace detail and then some pearl knit texture. It's so fun, and I just finished the yoke, so now all I have to do on the body is just the knit, which is amazing. But I ran out of the skein of yarn that I was currently using, so I have picked up the sleeves, and I'm going to try and go ahead and get the sleeves done, and then I will just knit the body and be done with it. And I'm loving this so much, and I need to try and get it done by early August if I can, and I think I am well on the way to doing that. So I think I'm knitting the 4th size. She has alphabet number or alphabet letters for the sizes, and I'm knitting size D, so I'm pretty sure that's the 1st size. But yeah, this is just being knit in some of my hand-dyed yarn. This is on a DK weight base that is a 75/25. And it's just lovely and cozy, and I am going to wear this so much this fall. It's going to be absolutely perfect. and I'm really excited about it. It would actually go really well with the skirt that I'm wearing today. Let's see if I can show you. Because it has these like flowers and a lot of yellow in it. And so, I don't know if you can see it. But like, that's gonna be cute. So that will be an outfit that is happening. Yeah, I've been loving it. It's so much fun. And I've been knitting it on a US size 4, I'm pretty sure. And these are some needles that I got on clearance from Hobby Lobby, and they worked with my interchangeable cables, but they're wood, and so the needle size is already kind of worn off. I don't know if you can even see that, but I'm pretty sure it's a 4, which is a 3.25 millimeter. No, it's a 3.5 millimeter. The US 3 is 3.25 millimeter. I used to think that I was never going to get any of those millimeters to US whatever things memorized, but I've actually been doing a pretty good job. Slowly. It's taken me years, but we're getting there. Last project. I am also test knitting and crocheting this adorable pattern, which is designed by Amy of Two Sisters and Some Yarn and Pro Life Knitter. I've talked about her so much this episode. Time to be new BFFs. This is a crochet and knit combined sweater. It's more of a recipe rather than a pattern, as Amy says. And I have finished the yoke part, and now I need to figure out what I'm doing for the sleeves and with the body. So I had picked up and started knitting for the body, and I was doing some decreases on underarms, and I very quickly realized that I had been way too enthusiastic with my decreases, so I ripped the body back out. I'd only worked like an inch or so. And so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the sleeves, because I think the sleeves are a bit too wide for me. So I was thinking that what I could do is as you will see, I put a triangle granny square thing here, and I was thinking, well, I could do a triangle and then do another set of granny squares here, and then that would decrease it down by like 1 granny square. But then I realized that if I did that, because I'm doing the join as you go thing, if I don't like it, I'm gonna have to tear out like a ton of work. So before I go forward with that, I'm going to try and crochet some rounds of either double crochet or granny square clusters or granny clusters, and try and do a more gradual decrease down, and see how that works. So it's on a little bit of a pause. I did this first part so quickly because it was so much fun. I'm using up a bunch of different scraps of Yarn Bee, Baby Bee Sweet Delight. It's a polyamide and acrylic blend. Yeah. 60% acrylic, 40% polyamide. It's washer and dryer friendly, and I've used it for a number of different baby projects, and so I had a bunch of random scraps left over. Well, baby projects and cow. And Amy said that she had worked her sample in the Sweet Delight yarn, and so I was like, perfect, I have a bunch of this, let's do this. So, I love it. It's super cute, and I really want to get back to work on it because I want this sweater. It is going to be adorable, and I need it in my life. So, that is all the knitting and crocheting that I have to share with you today. I've also been doing a bunch of sewing, but we're not going to talk about this in this video because it's already been very long, and I would like to have some time to sit and drink some water and do some knitting and watch some videos, because that's what I like to do when the boys are napping. But yeah, so quickly here at the end, let's do a little bit of a life update. Like I said, we had a family wedding at the beginning of June. It was lovely. The drive was not the most fun with 2 small children. On the way there, we tried driving overnight. It was just fine on the babies. Regarding the baby, he slept like pretty much the whole way. And I realized that in the van that we have now, I can sit in the back seat with him and I can like nurse him while we're driving, which is so nice. We don't have to stop and nurse him because he's still nursing. But The toddler slept maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours the whole drive. Like, it was ridiculous. He was up all night because we left, it was very much overnight. We left home at around 6:37, and we got to my parents' house at like 4 their time because they're in the Eastern time zone. So it was a long drive, and he stayed up pretty much the whole time. He watched My Neighbor Totoro about 3 or 4 times back to back, and it was just ridiculous. He's always been a sleep challenge. That has been his thing ever since he was born. He was born teeny tiny little baby, and he has just always struggled with sleep. So that was interesting. Coming back, we did it a little bit more. We left like mid-morning. Yeah, I think it was like a 10 or something, and then we got home. We tried to leave right around like morning nap time, and then we got home around like 4 or 5 in the evening. And that was okay. Like they both boys slept for their naps, and it was okay. We got through it. There was some more in My Neighbor Totoro. But yeah, thankfully that is the last like wedding occurring in my family for the foreseeable future. We had 2 weddings last year and 2 weddings this year, so I have 4 more of my siblings who've gotten married off, which there's 10 of us altogether, so I think there's only technically 3 left that are not married. So, and 2 of them are quite young and should hopefully not be getting married anytime soon. Please. I need a break from weddings. So, and my poor mother needs a break from weddings, my goodness. But that was fun. It was really lovely to get to see family and hang out with them, and for them to get to spend time with the boys, and it was really lovely because we stayed at my parents' house for about a week after the wedding. Well, we were there for about a week total, counting before the wedding and after the wedding. Because we hadn't seen them in a hot minute, and so we thought we would take advantage of having to go there anyway. And that was lovely. So we did that. Other than that, it's been really hot here, and I am not doing too well in the heat with my whatever is going on with me hormonally. Really since having kids, I just cannot handle the heat very well. It's really frustrating. So we've been doing a lot of stuff inside because it's gotten very hot. And yeah, that's about it. There's not too much else going on. Lots of sleep deprivation. My baby's in kind of his phase where he's working towards weaning to some degree, and he's getting towards night weaning, but he's not there yet, and it's just a whole thing, and we're working on it. We're trying to figure it out. In the next couple of months, I'm hoping that we will get things ironed out and figure out a situation where he can sleep, and I can actually have more than like an hour and a half chunks of sleep at a time. That would be nice. But it's kind of the same way with my toddler. He was kind of the same way, where it was just a lot of disrupted sleep and stuff, and we're figuring it out. We're getting there. We've got some potty training that's going to be coming up here shortly. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to tackle that, but my toddler's almost 3, so we're about ready to start on that adventure. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm still trying to figure out what my hormones are doing so I can try and lose some weight so we can have more babies. But that has been pretty much, it's been a really discouraging journey thus far. I've done a lot of cutting out of foods and being very strict on what I'm eating, and it really hasn't made any difference whatsoever. And so that's been incredibly beyond discouraging. So we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen if we get my baby weaned sometime between 12 to 15 months, if my body will register that and it will be like, oh, okay, we don't have to store all of this extra weight because you're not feeding a baby anymore. So that's kind of, we're hoping that will make a difference. Because yeah, my goal is to just try and lose, if I could lose 30 pounds, I would be comfortable getting pregnant again and having another baby. Ideally, I'd like to lose about 50 pounds, but that might not happen. At this point, I think I've lost like maybe 5 pounds. Like, it is nothing. And it's been all over the place. Like, it's just, I'll be like, oh, I'm down a couple pounds, and the next day I'm back up a couple pounds. It's very discouraging. And so I'm just trying to like keep persevering, keep doing what I know I need to do, keep eating as healthy as I can, and all that. But we'll see what happens with that in the next few months. Because I would really, really love to have more babies. But at this point, with my weight and my genetics and everything, I don't know if I've talked about it much on here before, but I found out when I was pregnant with my second that I was in the pre-diabetic category, and so that puts me at a much higher risk for complications during pregnancy, getting gestational diabetes, and all that very much not fun stuff. So before we try to have more kids, which we would love to have more kids, Lord willing, we really just wanted to try and see if I can get as healthy as possible so that we could reduce the likelihood for any of those potential complications. That is our hope. So, if you have any recommendations for that, feel free to leave them in the comments. But other than that, that is all that I have to talk about today. Thank you so much for sticking around for this long and very rambly video. I know it was a little bit all over the place, but hopefully you enjoyed. Oh, before I go, I was going to say one of the reasons why I have been feeling so much more inspired with my knitting is because I have been diving deep into the whole world of conservative knitters, if you will. I started following a lot more conservative knitters, and I've been included in some Telegram knitting groups, and it has been amazing. It has been so, so lovely. I have so thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like I'm actually making like connections and friends, and maybe they all think I'm a bit of a weirdo, but I feel like I'm just so happy to be part of this group, and it has been amazing. I'm kind of following along with people's chatter, and it's just, I love it so much. It's like you finally feel like you find your people and your group, and you're just like, yes, this is, it just makes me excited. It makes me want to knit because I'm like, oh, there's other people who like crafting and knitting, and they're like me and they think the same things, and I don't have to be super careful about not saying certain things, and it's been so lovely. I've been following along with like Blocked magazine. Neil, he's so funny. I would love to know him in real life. Like, he is just hilarious. He's like your British, I was gonna say grandfather, but then I felt that that might be a little bit insulting because I don't know that he's quite old enough to be my grandfather. He's probably old enough to be my dad, but probably not grandfather, but I don't really want to call him my uncle because that's a whole thing, but he's really cool and I really like him, and it's really nice to see a guy knitter that's like normal. I don't mean that in a rude way, but he's really nice. So he runs Block magazine, so I've been kind of helping out and volunteering for some stuff with Block magazine, and then I've been following along with I watched Amy and Denise from Two Sisters of Yarn. They did a podcast in like May, and I finally sat down and watched all of that. They're hilarious. I absolutely love them. Amy needs to be my best friend too. And then I've been watching Knitnite, which is Liz and Therese and whichever guests that they have on, and I've been loving that. That's happening tonight, and I'm very excited about it. I have to be careful because the timing that they do it is right around supper time for us, and I'm like trying to fix a dinner and like watch little snippets of the live stream at the same time and ignore my husband and children. I'm like, oh cool, my friends are here. So that has been so lovely. It's just been bringing me so much joy, and I'm just thoroughly enjoying it. And it's kind of all part and parcel of the whole, like, I'm getting ready to turn 30, I'm getting ready to enter a new decade of my life. I know a lot of people will be like, oh my goodness, you're such a baby, you're so young. And yes, I fully acknowledge that, I'm young, but I'm also like, 30 is like when you really start being an adult. And so I feel like I've really started contemplating and thinking about things and just realizing that, like, life is too short to place too much weight on what people on the internet are going to think about you. And it is far better to say the things that you believe and stick up for the things that you believe rather than just trying to please everybody. And I tend to be a people pleaser. I get some of those from genetics from my parents, one in particular. And I am just getting older and braver and wiser, I hope. And I just am so excited to be able to be friends with lovely, lovely people. And it has been amazing. So, that was what I wanted to say about that. There's a lot of stuff coming up. There's Shark Week coming up in a few weeks, which I'm a sponsor for that this year, which I just feel so... I've never been a sponsor for anything before, so like this is exciting. I'll talk about that more in another video because this has been way too long already. But yeah, that's it. That's where we're stopping now. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to be back next Tuesday, and I'll see you soon.